I'm here at Blue Rock Lake. I was here earlier walking with some friends and they pointed something out to me which I thought was really interesting, and it made me think a bit more about our youth today and the inspiration that our youth receive. Because today we seem to have a bit of an issue with youth crime and youth not feeling like they've got a purpose or feeling that they've got a future. There's a lot of talk about that. And it made me wonder, when we think about our leadership that we have, what are things that we can do to actually inspire the kids of today to have that sense of purpose? And because they look up to us as adults. I know the kids, they pretend they don't. That's true. But the reality is they do look up to you. If you're an inspiring leader, they'll pay attention to that. And so I wanted to bring you over here and show you something that, that was shown to me as we were going for our walk along this track. This is the track we were walking along earlier today. And we do a circle around from the main town, coming around down here to the car park up there. So we come around and go that way through the park. But what was pointed out was here is on this notice board, it says upcoming is a working bee and there's a tree planting with the Cornish College. And it was interesting that as part of the school camp, the kids are getting involved in helping the communities by going out and planting trees. And that got me thinking as to, well, local government, whilst education is a state government thing, there are many things that local government and our councillors could advocate for that would really inspire our youth to have a sense of purpose as part of school programs. One of the things the local government could do is it could partner with schools to create the opportunities for the kids to get involved. So it could identify areas that need some attention, planting of trees. There's a number of different things that they could get involved with, but the council could partner with the schools to identify those things and then help facilitate that for the children to get involved with, providing that guidance and leadership. A big one that the councils could get involved with is facilitating the application of permits and other requirements that are needed for that kind of thing to happen. And the council could, and our councillors could, advocate for a more streamlined process so that these kind of activities are not burdened by red tape and difficulties and long lead times to actually work through and achieve them. And there's a number of ways that we can systematize that so that the process becomes much easier for schools to get involved, for kids to get involved, for them to have that kind of leadership. And that's something the councillors with the right skill sets, knowledge and experience could actually help facilitate reducing that red tape to now allow these kind of activities to occur. Another thing councillors could advocate for is the education and awareness of this kind of program. So they could put information on the website, so they could seek that the council has information on the website about this. They could have information generally out there in the public, so have forums and invite the public. What sort of programs do you think would be helpful for the kids to get involved with that's going to help build their character, their sense of pride in the community, those kind of things? And that's certain elements that could be done, our councillors could advocate for. I'm just looking at, there's little waves cracking here, but there's so many things like that about education, providing education, that these kind of things are available, that this kind of leadership from our leaders, so behaving in a manner that leads, shows the people that these opportunities are here. You can get involved. You can help the children be part of the community, to have pride in the community, to have pride in themselves, and to understand that these little bits of helping out with the community is actually good for your own health, because when you help out with others, you do produce dopamine and serotonin, which makes your body better as well. So all these things could be part of that education and awareness program that our councillors could advocate for. There's many different ways our councillors could advocate for the allocation of resources and funding for this kind of initiative as well to help our youth. They could put in place the use of facilities that already exist. So there's many facilities that the council has that could be used to raise awareness that we talked about, and they could be used in different ways, all the different facilities. They could also, again, make the resources available from the perspective of different land care assets that they've got that could facilitate this. So if you've got people out there planting trees and you've got 2 paid workers that are doing it, those 2 paid workers could guide 10, 20 children. A lot more work's going to get done. And there's, again, comes back to there's certain things that need to be I's dotted, T's crossed in respect of that. But again, a more streamlined process would enable that to happen quite well. And obviously there's grants as well. And this kind of initiative, especially when we're talking about youth crime, it's something that's has attention now. So our councillors advocating for this sort of thing, because it is an education-based thing, there's ways of drawing in state funding and even federal funding for this as well. And it's just a matter of facilitating those grants. The other thing that the council or councillors could advocate for in respect of this, and I think this would happen organically anyway, is for volunteerism. And part of the problem that I personally feel that the councillors are currently struggling with getting people to volunteer is having a sense of purpose and a sense of pride in what's there, and creating this kind of initiative where you're helping children learn so many different skills, develop really good character. You're going to organically create a sense of wanting to be involved by the public. Parents are certainly going to want to be involved. Other people are going to want to be involved. So, and this is where this thing that the council could facilitate, and they do talk about it a lot, wanting people to have a bit more pride in the region, have a bit more a sense of purpose. Well, these kind of activities, the council being able to facilitate that, well, councillors, I should say, because a council is not a body by itself. It's made up of people, and we need to make that distinction that we want our councillors to be advocating for these kind of things that create a sense of purpose for our children, for our people. And a simple program like this, where we get children on school camp, it doesn't even have to be on school camp, but children being involved in being part of the community, and the councillors advocating for these kind of projects and facilitating it in a way that's going to make it simple and easy to do, because it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. There's checks and boxes, of course, and that needs to be done responsibly, of course, but we can systematize that. And that's where we want, I think it's important to be looking for councillors and for our councillors to advocate for these kind of things for our children, for the greater good of the region. I just thought that was a really lovely initiative that I saw here. I mean, obviously it's a magical day, absolutely beautiful here. And I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it would be something that would be really, really helpful if we could have councillors that advocate for that kind of thing. So they're just my thoughts on what councillors could advocate for in respect of encouraging our youth. How do you think that our councillors could advocate and help support our youth have more pride and more activity in our region? Thank you for joining me here on this absolutely stunning day to talk about what can help bring some sense of pride for our kids in our region. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Behind me is Monash Hall in Yallourn North, which is a great example of what you can do with that inspiration of kids. Because if you look here, if we come across this way, you can actually see that on the side of the hole there's all this artwork that's been created by children, local children, that is now displayed on the hall. And if I swing around this way here, we're across the road, give you a close look at some of this artwork. So this has all been created by children, local children. And they've all signed their names on it and created this artwork. And when children do this kind of thing, not only do the children have a sense of pride in it and they want to look after it and take care of the area, their parents and other people do as well. So it's a great opportunity, a great example of what can be done with the local community for very little cost. It just requires a little bit of advocacy by our local councillors.